All right, so here's my update for Project Farmhouse Day 24. I've finished buttoning up this electric line. Again, it's still not connected over there, but I at least just wanted to finish that off. The other thing I didn't realize, I never installed an acid neutralizer. I had the inlet and the outlet reversed. This valve can work either way. I had the water coming in here, but in order for this to flow properly, this needs to be the inlet side. So what I did was I turned this a little bit, and now this is my outlet, my return to the house, and now this is my inlet. So I just switched this. Didn't take long. It actually made it easier for this. This is the refill hole to fill it up with the calcite. So anyway, I fixed that. I reversed it. Didn't take long. And then I started running my hot water line. So the red line is all hot water. So I got it going up into the washer, dryer, laundry area. I ran it for the hopper. And then I ran it over here for the sink and for the, well, it doesn't go to the toilet, the hot water. But then that's a 3/4 inch line going this way. I did the same thing. I teed it off right there. I'm trying to get my glove off so I can play with my phone. So I teed it off right there. See the two T's? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a line going this way to the upstairs eventually. But right now I'm trying to just focus on the first floor. And then I got the 3/4 inch line going this way. And then I transitioned it to a 1/2 inch, and then I just capped that off for now. And that'll go to the sink and feed the dishwasher as well. But since we're not working on the kitchen, I'm not too worried about that. And then again, I ran my 3/4 inch line over this way, and I've just got it sitting here. And then I've got the 2 lines coming down for the sink right here. And then eventually I have to run it for the shower too. But this wall is getting moved, so that's why I didn't run this line. And when we go upstairs, I'll show you that. But my plan is right now I got to fix that sewer line. That's the sewer line for where the tub was, and he cut it off and capped it. And I won't be able to fix that. I'm actually going to have to cut that out because he cut it too short. So I won't be able to tap into that very easily. So I'm going to have to figure out how to fix that. And then this, I'll show you how this was running out the side of the wall that I got rid of. And I don't want it there. I want it to come up out of the floor right here so that it'll be right inside the sink area. So I'll have to finagle around with the vent up there. And then the only other thing, well, I'll go upstairs and show you the laundry room, but I did fix this. He had the washing machine cut out and he had it run separately. I put it back in so that it's running back into the septic. And I dumped a 1/2 gallon of water in that earlier and tested everything before I close up the drywall up there. So I got that part of the sewer line fixed, and everything's looking good. I think that's it for down here. Let me turn off my radio because I think I'm done here for the day. And then let's go upstairs. Oh, let me turn off this light too. So I actually bought a new light. This light died on me. So Amazon, 12 bucks. So now I really want to focus on getting the plumbing done on the first floor. And then I got to go up to the second floor. But this is the laundry area. So we want to try to get this room completely done. I took the hangers that were here off the wall. I'm actually going to save them and put them back. There were hangers here on the wall. I took those off the wall. But I cut that drywall out. and I ran my pipes in the wall, right? And then I'm leaving that alone. I'm not touching that. The hopper's gonna sit over top of it, but I don't know why they just didn't put the sewer line here. It's really weird. And then this is the sewer line for the washing machine. So I put a new shut-off valves, got PEX going to it. I left just a little loop in there in case somebody ever did have to repair it. There's a little excess in there, but I tested that, make sure it's not leaking. So now I know I can put my drywall all back together. And I didn't test the PEX, but I'm like 99% confident the PEX is going to be fine. But this will go back here like this. I'll pop this trim ring off. I'll put a piece of drywall here and we can start mudding this room up. And then after I'm done mudding the room, so I got to fix that. I got to fix the insulation. I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm actually going to put extra insulation. I'm going to run insulation this way. And then I'm going to run a piece of insulation this way. I'm going to put a recessed light there. I'm going to put a recessed light there. And I'm going to put a recessed light right here outside this door, since this is a kind of a dark area. Because I don't see how dark it is. It'll look so much better if there's two lights over there and even another one here. And those recessed lights are only 65 watters. So that'll brighten up this laundry room so that, you know, you can maybe fold laundry in here or whatever. You can use this as a pantry as well because you got a big monster space over here. I don't know if I showed you guys this, but that's the water lines that I ran. Again, I'm going to leave this popping out the side wall. I couldn't put those in the wall because right here is there's a header in the basement. There's an LVL beam going this way. So this wall sits right over top of that LVL beam. So these had to come up through the floor, and that's no big deal. And that explains probably why they put this here going sideways, but they could have just came up through the floor. Oh, well, I guess the reason why they didn't do that is because they vented every fixture, which is not bad. Having every sewer line vented, each one has, so this one runs up this way and runs over, and it ties in right there. See it? They all tie in together right there. So these two are tied together and run up here. And then this one, and then they're all tied together right there into a 3-inch line, which, you know, it actually does make things vent better. And then I know the sink is vented too because I can see that pipe going out of the roof. So there's a sink, there's a vent here for the kitchen all by itself. And then the other thing I was working on was this bathroom. So this is the wall that I ripped out today. And the reason why I did that is the vanity that I have is not going to fit in the space that was here. So this wall has to just move over a couple of inches. You'll lose just a couple inches on the shower, but the shower area was over 60 inches anyway. It was 70, I think it was 70 inches. So my plan is to move this wall over. So, and then the other problem that I had was they had this coming up and then they had the P-trap going here like this. For me to put a new vanity in, I'd have to cut the vanity up on the side. And I just didn't like that. I just didn't think that was the right thing to do. So there's no so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here. I'm going to come up right here through the middle of these two pipes. I'm actually going to fur this wall out. And there's a reason why I have to do that. I'll bring this wall out another, you know, I'll use either 2x3s or 2x4s, and I'll fur just to here. Wherever I build this wall, I'll fur this wall out so that I can run my sewer line with my vent all the way up into the attic. And the reason why I have to do that is this wall right here sits underneath the dormer, where there's a dormer with windows up there. So there's no way for me to get into the crawl space inside this wall. But I can get inside the crawl space right here. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to fur this wall out with 2x3s, and I'm just going to do the vanity area. There's plenty of room here. So this whole wall will be out another 3.5 inches, and nobody would ever notice it. So that just means I got to pull that mirror out and bring it out. And obviously the light fixture is going anyway. So if there's an electric box behind that electric box will move out with my new wall. And then I'm actually going to build this wall out just a couple of inches this way, and I'll move this vent over inside the wall here, and it'll reattach here. I'll just have to move this a couple of inches, and then this drywall fell apart on us. There was a soffit built up here. We got rid of the soffit, so we're just going to cut all this drywall out and replace it with new drywall, and we'll make sure the insulation's good, and we'll fix all this. So that's my plan for this room, to finish off the plumbing. So I'll probably come back tomorrow and start building my wall and moving this plumbing and getting it situated appropriately. And then obviously I have to move that out too. You know, I drilled that today, and then I realized, oh shoot, I'm not going to have room to run I thought I could run my vent right here, but I can't because the dormer's right above that wall. But and then you can see the water line is over there for the toilet. And then when I rebuild this wall, you know, just a few inches this way, I'll put my hot and cold lines in here for my shower controls. And then temporarily, I just put this piece of OSB over there because there's a monster hole right here. But I have to cut this out back to the studs so that I can fix the subfloor. The interesting thing is there's 2 pieces of 3/4 inch plywood on the floor here, on the whole first floor. They use 3/4 inch OSB underneath of it, and then they put 3/4 inch plywood over top of the OSB. And I wonder if they did that because it's a modular home. Maybe that made the house stronger when they were trucking the house down the highway. They also put OSB in here. There's a piece of OSB here, and in the laundry room too. There's a piece of OSB that goes up this wall here. And I wonder if they did that just to add a little bit of rigidity, because they were installing the sink there and they didn't want the sink to move. I don't know. But definitely 2 layers of subfloor on the floor. And like I said, I'm going to have to cut it back to where the studs are, and then so that I can patch a piece in. And then we'll be redoing this and making this a walk-in shower instead of a tub. So, all right, I'll be back tomorrow. That's a nice 13-minute update for Project Farmhouse Day 24.